What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Taville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony Joshua. Remember him? He responds to Oleksandr Usyk knocking out Daniel Dubois, and this is what he had to say. He said, according to Eddie Hearn, he said, "Yeah, I spoke to AJ. I just text him and I said, number one, Usyk is unbelievable. And number two, we really should have beaten Danny Dubois." And he goes, "I know." He goes on to say, he says, "I think right now, to be honest with you, it's bizarre that I didn't get the win. I wish I would have got it. I wish I would have beaten Triple D in September." And let me counterpunch. I want people to understand something. How big of a letdown it was that AJ lost to Usyk. Now, it was going to be either way. If Usyk was going to fight AJ or Dubois, he still would have been fighting the same person or the same two people that he's already beaten. So if that was going to go the route, that was going to go the route. However, AJ losing to Dubois gave a lot of people a false sense of hope in Dubois. So really blame AJ. And I think AJ is pretty much blaming himself. And I looked at that. I'm like, listen, that was more of an upset than a victory for Dubois. Everybody thought that Dubois was just as good. And I kept reminding people, well, Dubois may be good, better than AJ now, but was he better than him anyway? On top of the fact that, you know, you think if he's better than AJ, do you still think he's better than Usyk still? Like, what makes and what warrants him beating AJ better than him or allowing him or warranting him beating Usyk? It doesn't mean that he's going to beat Usyk just because he beat AJ on a bad night, a lot of people think. And I do think that AJ has better days. You know, I think it only depends on what he does in his next performance dictates where he's at or not. But you understand, you have to face the inevitable opponent that defeats you to really give everyone a positive or an honest opinion of who you are and how you've changed. That's why I told people, listen, Dubois, he's good. He beat those last three opponents, but I don't think he'll beat Usyk. But you couldn't say that too many times because people will call you a hater. And they will say that, oh, well, you're an AJ fan, so guess what? You'll say that anyway. I'm like, no, I'm also an Usyk fan. Shit. You know, but but understand, it looks bad. And it gave someone a false perception of Danny Dubois altogether because they thought that, man, Dubois just smashed this dude. He's just so much better now. Well, there's always other factors in that equation that you haven't factored in, right? But nonetheless, I mean, the guy that beat you, right, gets beat, right? But the good thing is he beat them both. So they don't really look as bad, I think, and I still think Dubois has a lot of fights under his belt, which we will talk about tomorrow when I go live for that. But no, as far as AJ's probably like, damn it, man, you know, with my timing off. And I do think AJ's timing was off in that fight. I think that what he was trying to do, since Dubois was the shorter guy, he was maybe an inch tall, shorter than him. He was trying to throw the right uppercut, you know, trying to parry and counter the jab of Dubois and throw the right uppercut underneath. And the problem was it was hard to do because Dubois' jab is a very good jab. You know, you have to have cat-like reflexes to be able to deal with it like Usyk, the cat, has. So, you know, that being said, you know, it is something to look at, but I think it's also encouraging as well for anybody that sees Dubois. But understand this, if people think that they're going to go in there and run over Dubois in Dubois' defense, they got another thing coming because you're not Oleksandr Usyk. So if, you know, you know, a lot of people look at things and, you know, so like I keep telling people, you got a lot of faithless people out there. A lot of times people see something and because they saw it, they believe more in it. So seeing is believing with a lot of people. So a lot of boxers will look at Daniel getting beat and they'll think, hey, you know what? I can do that to Daniel. And then they'll get their ass knocked out too. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Anthony Joshua responding to Daniel Dubois getting knocked out by Oleksandr Usyk. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.